It's a brand new week here in the Eastern region. We are kicking it off with day number 1, Vicky. I'm excited to get into it all. A lot of teams sitting on 2-0 currently. A couple of teams sitting on 0-2. Some of them we didn't quite expect to be there. Our first series today will be NYXL versus Philadelphia Fusion. And I got Vicky Kitty along with me as well to join us for the ride.
I'm glad to be here with you, Jaws. I know last weekend took a little bit of some time, but now we're diving right into it. And I'm so glad that this is going to be the first series that we're going to see here within the East region, because these are the two teams. You made mention of some points here, Jaws, but these are the two teams that everyone woke up to and they were like, what happened in APAC land? Where are my pick'ems? They're on fire, as they always are whenever I look at APAC. Here we have the Fusion versus the NYXL. Well, why don't we take a look at the leaderboards to take a look at the teams here in the APAC region and where they stand? Because right now, NYXL, yeah, they're looking really great. I believe they're tied with the Spark, Jaws, for that last play-in spot.
Yeah, they are. But if you want to do your pick'ems, don't forget to head them to pick'em.overwatchleague.com to fill out those for the Countdown Cup Qualifiers. You could win yourselves a little bit of a pretty penny and a cool statue as well. So make sure you head over to pick'em.overwatchleague.com, fill them out, and see how you do. See how you compare to the rest of the people doing them as well. But yes, Vicky, let's talk about the standings real fast, because Shanghai Dragons currently, oh man, this doesn't look good for them right now, does it? 0-2. Yes, they've locked themselves into a playoffs position already, Vicky. But still sitting on 0-2, not something we'd expect them to see right the way down there with the Valiant. Same with Spark, also 0-2. The Charge and Hunters have yet to play, and we are seeing all three of our top teams today as well. Fusion, NYXL, facing off in a minute, and Dynasty also.
Yep, it's going to be a great day in the Eastern region. You talk about the Dragons, though, sitting at the bottom of the leaderboards for the Countdown Cup, and a lot of people wondering what's going on here. Well, Jaws, when we take a look at the Dragons, I think this is the team that, again, you made mention of it, they're already sitting happily in that top spot in this region, so they could afford to have some of that extra time to get comfortable with if they want to change things up. And that's, that's the beauty of being able to be so far ahead of the other teams within the APAC region.
Yeah, you can say that, Vicky. Come on now. I mean, let's be real. Like, they did sub in Develop, and I guess they're developing him. That's the easiest bait and hook. Like, boom, got that one pretty quickly out there. But that's really, I mean, you're using a lot of this time to kind of make sure if you need to sub people in and out, some of your rookies that you've had sitting on the bench, that you've got a little bit of playtime there. But right now, you're 0-2. Do you then go back to the old ways? And that's kind of what we saw them do last week, right? They put Fleder back in and they put the Lit back in too. And it's like, okay, so we're actually the real Shanghai Dragons now. Like, we're just getting the ball rolling. Okay, we had a little bit of fun with Develop, but now we really want to make sure we can start collecting the dubs for the Countdown Cup. I mean, come on. You still want to win the Countdown Cup at the end of the day. Add one of those trophies to your ever-growing list of accolades. Let's talk about this series, though, Vicky. NYXL on your screens. Flora, Feather, Yutpun, Kalios, Jonak on Friday. They're going to be your stars today.
And after the performance we saw with the NYXL, I know we mentioned the Dragons, but looking at that series in particular, you're looking at a team that has gone through so much change in just terms of mental state from the start of the season to now. This is a team that has improved tenfold. I mean, the same could actually be said about the Fusion, but the NYXL is a team that I have my eyes on for right now, because I feel like this is a team that is going to be interesting this week. Not only is the NYXL tied with the Spark for that last spot, but the NYXL and Philly have history. We've seen what was going on earlier on in the season. Can they go for that three-peat? Who knows, because the Fusion are also on another level. Why don't we take a look at that starting lineup between Carpe, EQO, Mono, Hotba, Alarm, and Funny Astro. The gang's all here. Familia está aquí. And we are here to play, Jaws. With the Fusion having everyone together, you could tell that they're feeling a lot more confident.
Yeah, let's be real with ourselves here. Philly don't want to let themselves in that three-peat. Come on now. They've only taken 2 maps off the NYXL in recent time, right? I mean, that's a pretty devastating look. And let's be real with ourselves as well. Philadelphia Fusion put a devastating look at the start of the season also. I mean, they didn't have half their roster, which is the biggest pain in the bums, right? I mean, they didn't have Astro, they didn't have EQO, and they were they had to put in players in roles that, yeah, sure, they can definitely play, but not the EQO kind of Genji or like the Funny Astro Lucio, right? Yeah, you got Toby, but Funny Astro's Brig too, which brings a whole nother level of comps as well. I mean, it was a very, very rough start for the Fusion, and we saw it, but as soon as they added back the key players they were wanting to play this season, they looked so good. Now they start off in Lijiang Tower. You can see NYXL haven't actually lost Philadelphia Fusion yet on this game mode. We are seeing 2 balls rolling out, and it is going to be almost miracles. We have EQ actually on the Hangzhou instead of a McCree. Flora's using that one, and yeah, a bit of a dangerous long-range comp of the Philadelphia Fusion. However, you know, unless you land in those logs that are the Hangzhou arrows, the McCree is going to provide a whole lot more with that flashbang, Vicky. You can see EQO now moving his way and trying to rotate onto the NYXL. They've actually got the point side pressure currently. The NYXL, maybe they've taken the mega health pack route, but they're going to have to rotate pretty quick. Feathers already found themselves on the point. Fusion almost landed the cap, but Yukong's just in time to stop that from happening.
Yeah, looking at this almost mirror here, Jaws, seeing the Hot Bazaar come out, already the fight going on the side, Jonak finding Carpe, it's chaotic in that room, but they trade here. EQO being able to follow from that Discord, finding Kalios, with Friday going down. You have to be wary if you're the NYXL, but Flora's not giving up just yet. He's still finding 2 and backs off a little bit. That was great positioning on his part, but he has to watch out. He's getting shot from the side, and they actually dive him. Carpe getting that pick. That was a pretty explosive side point there, but the NYXL had control over the point first, so they were able to get already 25%.
Yeah, Flora killing 2, Feather killing another one there, and they were able to just force the Philadelphia Fusion all the way back. I mean, I didn't expect Hopper to kind of overextend. He could have also went down. Flora was 1 bullet away from finishing him off. There's those logs I was talking about, thrown at Flora's head like a lumberjack in the back line right now. Storm Arrows do finish him off. The NYXL now force off the point with Jonak going down as well. Looks like it's going to be a flip.
Hoppa has just been insane. We've seen Hoppa on the Zarya last week, and now this is exactly what I'm expecting. With Feather finding this pulse bomb onto Alarm, Jonak's trying to come back, and he won't be there to help out the rest of the NYXL. With that grab, though, Hoppa goes down. He's going to come back with his own grab. Funny Astro with the rally. They do maintain this control over the point, but the NYXL have that transcendence to try to at least keep the rest of the team alive, and they'll have rally up soon, too.
Yeah, but you talk about the transcendence from Jonak. He's already burnt it. Carpe threw out the pulse, so forced it out. And now Grab Dragons are available from the Philadelphia Fusion. Looking like a pretty nice spot they're in right now. Carpe's fresh in the front line as Mano already goes down. There's the Graviton Surge.
Yeah, but now in the follow-up with the Dragons, EQO gonna find 2 out of that. And this is what I was seeing when I saw that Zarya come out and EQ on the
rally?
Hangzhou. Is gonna be insane. Yeah, and the rally actually being used by Friday. Question mark? I don't know if that was on purpose, honestly. Not maybe to try to get them out, but that was questionable there too, because now they only have 3
big
ultimates
brain,
coming
Vicky.
up.
Very 5-head. Use the rally to escape back to spawn. Excellent work. Yep, definitely.
I'm trying to give the benefit of the doubt here, John.
Incredibly intelligent use of the rally. That's super unfortunate too, because look at Funny Astro's ult charge as well compared to Friday's at this point. He's almost up to 15%. Friday has to build his way up to another one, and wow, okay, Philadelphia Fusion. They lose the point because they're trying to dive the backline right now, and unfortunately, now Feather's in your backline.
And now the grab has been utilized by Kalios. Pulse Bomb isn't going to find its stick, and instead, NYXL, they delete the Fusion. And still be able to have control over that point too, and it's just going to get further and further away from the Fusion.
They didn't even need to use EMP there, Vicky, at all. Like, the Philadelphia Fusion were happy with a point cap. They chased the NYXL, and then both Yukpong and Feather just pressure point capped, and then they were able to win the fight 4v6 almost. Carpe's in a little bit of danger. 1 fight territory now for the NYXL.
And that's exactly why they want to hold on to this EMP. They're only EMP Mono, though. Mono not having fun, but still managing to get away somehow. Actually finding that health pack is discorded, though. He's getting melted rather quickly. In the backline, though, it's going to be EQO sending out those Dragons, controlling some space to prevent the rotation onto the point through mid. Transcendence coming in from Jonak, but with Friday going down with the rally. Talk about treading on that last fight territory. We have the Fusion being able to flip that point in their favor.
Yeah, no Dragons though for the grab, unfortunately, but at least they've got both support ultimates available for the Fusion. This Graviton Surge, Vicky, if it just hits 1 or 2, it's as good as gold, and they got a lot of burst damage and maybe the Pulse Bomb as well from EQO. There's the rally started off, and he's been hacked hacked instantly!
He won't have Transcendence now either, but it doesn't even matter. The Fusion are unfazed here. Funny Astro popping off. Just being able to go in, following up, alarm isn't even needed. And now the overtime taking away. No one from the NYXL to touch, and the first round go in favor of Fusion. They didn't even need alarm there. Jaws.
EQO landing some more logs from long range. The Storm Arrow is already hitting hard. I mean, like I said, the Graviton Surge only needs to hit 1 or 2, right? I mean, they're trapped. They have no Transcendence. Yeah, they got a rally, but they're also facing down a Hangzhou who's pelting you. That was a very tough situation for the NYXL, not having that Transcendence at the end. I like Philadelphia Fusion's comp, honestly. Running the Zarya and running the Hangzhou, you get the opportunity to get random pickoffs with the Hangzhou arrows, plus the combo is there too. Man, the support backline, the backline for NYXL, not normally looking this shaky. Like Friday misusing a rally, Jonak Transcendence being forced. I mean, for someone as with the caliber of Jonak, you don't expect Transcendence to be forced that easy, but it's also a good job on Carpe trying to get Jonak to press that Q button.
It's Carpe too, you know, especially with the way that they've been able to work together with EQO and Funny Astro back in the fray after coming out of Visa Hell. Now they're going to be able to really show off all those tools. NYXL in the white room, waiting to rotate already, Jaws, and with EQO back on this far, we saw how lethal it was before, and they're ready. You see Flora on the McCree trying to shoot through that window. Already the fight starting off, and Mono almost getting deleted, but he gets away in time.
Nice little bit of brawl here for the NYXL. Ooh. Carpe's in the backline, by the way. Just chunking people away. Immortality builds have been forced already. He just needs one pick here, ideally, but he still has to be careful of Flora and Feather. And this poke comp's going to be really good for the Fusion, but they just need this consistent damage. If Mano keeps going down like this and just rolling in rather haphazardly without checking where Feather is, it's going to be a disaster. Window comes out, that should just be it. Ooh. Nice hack on EQO. Even though he's nanoed, he drops like a sinking stone in water.
And that's going to be a reset from the Fusion. Great way to actually deal with that Fusion. They had a plan to engage with that Rocket Barrage and nano-boosted Rocket Barrage that EQ wanted to build up at least at the very start there. So close to getting it, but that Ant Matrix just put a dent to their plan there. And now Flora having the Deadeye, just trying to buy in some time to prevent the Fusion from rolling in.
Yeah, the Shatter is available for Yukmon rather soon too. It's going to be hard to be locking people down, but again, you're kind of playing the same role as the Zarya here, where you only look for one person, ideally. Wow, okay, that was really strange. Carpe just died on the side. Got flanked by Feather, and Jonak was just shooting at him as well. Unable to play off angles now. Very good look for the NYXL so far. Dragon Strike available, Missile Barrage as well, so big DPS ults coming online, but Feather's nearing the ZMP as well.
EQO as well, having that Rocket Barrage. Carpe does find Flora with the Dragons, though. Here comes EQO through the window. They note him, just trying to find a position. Yeah, tries to get right behind the Reinhardt shield, and he does so successfully. Being able to put himself into position, getting a 3K while he's at it. NYXL, though, they still had 86% on the point. This is the first time in the second round that Fusion actually managed to flip that.
Oh, no one was there to body block. The shield wasn't enough. The immortality field wasn't enough. He was just so close to the ground. It was so hard for the BAP to react in that situation as well. Nice little three-piece. But Feather's got the CMP. He can make this final fight. If he manages to catch EQ and Funny Astro in the skies, he's going to be as good as gold. However, Astro just having that Valkyrie online is going to be a little bit more tough to tack down. And actually, solo EMP onto Mano, and he walks away. Well, walk? No, not so much. He rolls away. And Feather walks into mines. Okay.
Yeah, I was saying, yeah, and the minefield is just coming down here. EQO, just being able to have these angles so difficult. You can see right now, Kalios just trying to use that Matrix just to deal with it, but with the Fusion now getting into place, it's up to the NYXL to go through that white room. They have Kalios' Diva Bomb for that reset, but Jonak slowly approaching that Nano Boost.
Yeah, he's super slow. Jonak is already in a little bit of hurt. Speaking of which,
talking about Nano Boost, it's Alarm that has it first, puts it onto EQO, who's antied. He's so low, he can't get away in time. Focusing him down. Mono does find Jonak in the process, so it's a 1-for-1. Currently with the NYXL. Kalos still has that Diva Bomb, and with the rally from Friday, that's going to keep the rest of NY Excel healthy, give them some of that armor too while they're at it. Take a look at Flora too, and the pressure that he's been able to put on the bridge. He's taking a nap though, Alarm putting him to sleep, and the follow from Carpe. Carpe does have that pulse bomb too, and Mono himself is asleep. Someone wakes him up, he gets away in time. No one's been able to flip the point just yet, but NYXL has been in this fight for so long. The rotation from Philadelphia Fusion has just been being able to disengage and go right back in. Carpe gets a pulse bomb pick onto Jonak, and Flora trades that for Mono. We're still trading here 2 for 2, and another anti hitting onto Kalios. Alarm's been so consistent with them.
Yeah, he's been so consistent. Kalios does end up finishing off EQO. The point gets flipped as well. NYXL in a good position. They might bring the reflip. Yes, they do. Kalios jumps back on point in time.
And here it goes with the EMP, finding 3. Hoppo's gonna take so much damage here. Gonna have to D-Mech, and Floor now finding Carpe. NYXL putting themselves in the driver's seat as overtime is taking away in their favor. They are gonna be able to get second round here on Legion. NYXL really showing up how close these teams are despite having that winning record onto Fusion.
We knew it was going to be a close series, and I think it's already painting itself that way. 2 very different comps as we rolled out the gate, of course, with the Fire and the Poke, with the Hangzhou as well, versus like this Brawl style. Feathers Sombra, though, so impactful, shutting Mano down just over and over and over again. Yeah, maybe with the EMP on Mano getting him solo, but the manual hacks for Feather are doing a lot of work, just so much. There's a big like zone of denial when you're playing against the Sombra. You've got to kind of think about. Same with the Kree as well. If you're someone like a Tracer, that zone of denial, trying to bait out cooldowns, bait out the flashbang, bait out the manual hack kind of thing. It's a very tough game to play. TP forward though. So Rissa versus the Rhine Zarya here. So just a lot more spam on the Fusion side. It's up to NYXL to kind of rush into them. But Hero pulls Vicky, don't forget, no Lucio, so a little bit more tough.
Yeah, it's going to take you a little bit longer to get into place here, but EQO on Soldier, just trying to get into position, being able to do a lot of that damage from far away. But talk about damage, Kalios is charged up here, fully charged up, and he's going to be able to put on so much pressure onto these front lines. It's actually forcing the Fusion to back off a little bit, so the point is still going to go in favor of Fusion. No one actually contesting, but it doesn't matter because the NYXL are just trying to prioritize these rotations. Look how aggressive Kalios is getting, but he gets punished for it. The follow-up, the NYXL weren't there just yet, but they are there to help clean up, and they successfully win that fight. Despite the point going in favor of Fusion, they're going to be able to flip it right back.
Very nice. Couple of headshots coming from Flora. Kalios, yeah, overstepping just a little bit. It was a nice little tag team effort from Feather also, trying to hack Hopper so he couldn't fly to the mega health back as he was trying to deny it away from Kalios. He does end up losing his life in the process, but Kalios does enough damage, and then the rest of the NYXL can just kind of move on forward. Felt pretty easy. I can imagine Jonak wants to use this and run away. Well, I mean, that's exactly what Feather's doing right now. I think Jonak wants to switch to Anaher. I think it'll be a little bit more effective, but the window does so much damage. Oh my god, Hopper almost got insta-killed.
He got almost deleted right there. They're forced to back off. They wasted no time there. The Ant Matrix just being able to create some of that space. Carpe was isolated over to the side there. Unfortunately, didn't know that Feather was right behind them. He's going to get taken out. And the Fusion are just going to back off at this point. Just wait it out. Actually opt to go for a different rotation over to the other room.
Server side now. Feather knows, and Feather's calling this as well, so he can direct his team so effectively. Oh, nice! Wow!
Oh, okay.
Nice little whip shot there. Okay, through the doorway, tags him, forces him back, but they still have EMP available.
All right here you have the Fusion. They also have the Transcendence too. Yeah, the Visor really started out of control, but the EMP finding 3. The Supercharger also going to be used out by Mono, along with the Transcendence out of that range from the EMP to help keep the rest of Fusion in this fight. And with Carpe finding Jonak, it's up to Friday here to keep the NYXL alive, and it just may not be enough healing here. So we lose Yukpong in the process, and Kalios getting hit with that Discord Orb. He's going to take a lot of damage, and they're just going to back off for right now.
That rally really saved him at the end there as well. That was a nice Transcendence from Alarm. Surprise, surprise. He's good at the Zen character, and he's good at pressing Q at the right times as well. Yeah, EQO start off with a Tactical Visor as well, the most useless ult in the game, just tickling shields, which is kind of interesting. I love watching soldiers just kind of walk up to things, Tactical Visoring, and doing less damage than they would just normally firing their weapon.
They're trying their best.
They're trying their best. I mean, yeah, he's trying his best. Feather going pretty low. They've switched up comp here completely as well. They're going to honor on Jonet this time. So it's actually something I'd like to see if they were running the Rhine, because they could just nano the Rhine in. He charges through shield, starts swinging, but also works fairly well on the Winston. Still a fairly tough backline to dive, though. You've got a lot of peel.
I also have to deal with Friday in that shield bash too. Fusion. Just trying to get into position to try to force the NYX over to the side, but meanwhile, there's a fight going on the points. Be Hoppa trying to bring that into Flora. Does find Flora as a pick. Health pack on the top is hacked right there, but with the rally coming in, Funny Astro, or rather the Nano Boost, Kalios eats the Dragons from Carbe, and EQO can't get Visor in time. Kalios just going in with this composition swap, actually working really well for the NYXL here. Despite losing Friday, Jonek going so low, no support left for the NYXL, but they do manage to flip the point.
Oh man, not only each Dragon Strike kills Alarm and EQO in that fight as well. Double melee, donked them on the head. Should be pretty easy for them now with the EMP. There it is. Rally's going off though. Funny Astro saves the day.
Yeah, Funny Astro now finding Yukpung, and as well as activates that rally. Here comes a supercharger, lots of damage coming in with no Yukpung and Kalios. The rest of it, NYXL, have to back off here. They find Flora, though, in the process, so they can't fully back off. Both supports are in trouble.
Oh, there's the visor. Quick, observers, quickly switch to the visor. Oh, he's running away. Look at it go. Oh, so much damage. Oh, he does
so
nothing.
Much impact.
Yeah, what a surprise. Oh, look at this. He's doing headshots. Crazy, crazy. Yukpung ends up going down. OT's ticking through, and there you go. The Philadelphia Fusion with that tactical visor, which definitely made the difference, end up taking the first map.
You know, being able to see that tac visor, find that monkey, made all the difference, Jaws, at the very end. At the very end.
Don't worry, guys. I found all of them. They're on my screen. I'm not going to shoot them, though. I'm going to run away because my ult sucks. No, that was a really nice rotation from Hopper there too. In that previous fight, Vicky, just before the very end, he managed to force out the recall of Flora, and because Flora is in the backline as well, he wasn't able to recall in a safe-ish position with a blink remaining. Ideally, you want to recall with a blink so you can kind of dash out the way to make sure you don't get stunned, but he was in such a predicament where he'd spent so long in the backline of the Philadelphia Fusion that as soon as they forced the recall, he was right on top of the team. He ended up going down. They found the flip, and even Astro there as well, saving the rest of his team from that EMP with the rally. That armor built up so quickly, saved EQO's life, and they do net the win on the first map. Well, there you go. Philadelphia Fusion, they end up taking their first control map against the NYXL this season. We're going to jump to a quick break. We got into map number 2. It's coming up soon. We'll see you in a bit.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by TeamSpeak, the official voice supplier of the Overwatch League.
Hunter Cowboy as Carpe gets a nano boost. That's 2 with the Deadeye. That is huge. Carpe coming alive on the Cowboy now. Getting close to those final blows.
Doesn't get anything. What does it do? Jonax on the fight. Might not be enough. Friday though with 2. Friday have 2 on the outskirts, Noah. Surely not. Suddenly New York's right back on in. Can this be map 1?
But is it too late? They need to win a couple fights here to be able to win this round.
So let's get Yakpunk somehow got away, but not the bomb. The bomb sealed his fate, cut off his escape.
I mean, that's the thing. You need that bomb to force people off the point. Flora gets 2 though. Whoa! What is in that dynamite? Well, I guess it's dynamite. Flora gets 3 and New York manages to hold that. Is a 2-0 lead for them now with a win on Nabani. And I gotta say, ZP, New York just looking dominant.
God, I love looking at those highlights, man. Just seeing Flora nanoed, damage boosted, one shot on everybody with Ash. Feels pretty good. Feels pretty good if you're an NYXL fan. This season as a whole as well, you've been looking great. And my word, has someone had a big turnaround? Kalios, you see how much he was popping off that last map? Like, his Steve was just unstoppable. His Zarya as well. I saw some of the obs people just going back through, looking at some of the replays. His grabs were really good. His ability to get into the back line and just kill random people. Unfortunately, it wasn't enough to carry them to their first map win here in this series, Vicky. But the Philadelphia Fusion are putting up quite the fight. They know they're 0-2 down against the NYXL this season. They want to at least get another point on the board. We'll see if they can do it. We're going to map number 2 in a sec.
I think they can, Jaws. I feel like with this team now being able to work together and finally have the players that they were originally looking forward to working together with, I think this is why we're seeing a completely different Fusion. You know, Fusion, they gave their fans hopium last weekend for a reason, and they want to make sure that they don't let them down. They're continuing on. They're going to try to break this streak that the NYXL have been able to build up throughout the season. Just being up 2-0 against a team like the Fusion. This isn't the same Fusion. NYXL 2 is another team that has just been able to really work out a lot of those flaws. You mentioned Kalios, Zarya player that we've seen pop off. Of course, being able to also pop off on the Diva, just so consistent with being able to help peel too. You saw Kalios, of course, throwing themselves in the front lines, having so much charge already so early on that last round of Legion. So now with Kalios still sticking onto the Zarya, New York Excelsior, they're able to roll out with this composition, and they're feeling pretty confident too. That's the way that Yakpunk could actually roll right back in and be able to build up some of that charge for Kalios as well as Feather.
Yeah. I mean, building up the Graviton Surge even quicker as well, of course. I mean, Kalios, man, what a turnaround this player has been, really. I mean, you gotta remember, and if people are new or like didn't watch the first season of Overwatch League, like he was on the Boston Uprising. Like the original Boston. We're talking a vast Boston Uprising. That's how old we're going back. Okay, like he's out on the bench. At least Kalios got some playtime in there, you know. I mean, but he played in original Boston Uprising. He then goes back to Contenders, grinds his heart out in both North America and Korea, and then comes back, puts up performances like this on an almost completely rookie squad as well. I mean, you're feeling pretty good. I love the new look of the NYXL. They've been doing exceptionally well. Philadelphia Fusion putting a little bit of a thorn in their side right now. Let's get back into the game though. They just rolled out the gate, and of course Iko now on the Sombra. Carpe on the Hangzhou this time instead. I like the fact they're picking up Sombra, just knowing how much Yakpunk is getting value as well on this Wrecking Ball. I think it's been quite frustrating for them to kind of deal with. Ooh. Speaking about frustrating to deal with, all that CC.
Unfun. Mono tried so hard to get away. He got deleted as quickly as the NYXL just did right now. Rolled here with the Philadelphia Fusion now. Just gonna clear the point real quick. It's Kalios who's the last man standing. Ikio too also being able to help out and build into that EMP that's gonna be so lethal for later on.
Yeah, they should be able to get another touch though. I mean, they have got ball and they've got tracers, so yeah, you can see they're all revealed. They know where they are. Slam onto Jonak. Should be okay though. There's Yakpunk getting the touch with Feather. Carpe with the Dragon Strike can deny a lot of space because it's so close. I almost see 9. It's 0.22 meters remaining. They could honestly just Dragon Strike and then maybe try and push the payload in.
I think that's actually what Carpe's trying to get into position for right here. He goes the EMP here. Huge EMP finding 5. Jonek and Friday need some help. Jonek goes down and so does Flora. Here comes those Dragons on the payload, just like you mentioned. Meanwhile, Mono having some fun rolling around, being able to get a 3K. Hoppa wants to get in on the action. And so does Carpe, being able to get this payload already, the first point. Some time to work with, too. They're going to be able to also get into position. So NYXL, they want to hold that high ground, but the Fusion are going to beat them to it.
Man, that was a crazy EMP from EQO there. Stripped the shields of Hopper and Alarm. Oh, so that's his own team. I mean, Jonak and Kalios. Can you imagine if it stripped your allied shields as well? Like how trolly that would be.
Oh,
God,
man, stop.
That would be so terrible.
No.
I mean, at that point, you might as well be able to
game.
manual hack your teammates as well. Like,
right.
Come on. I mean, that would be... Like, I think I've had this discussion before with Hex, but imagine if there was friendly fire in Overwatch 2.
No.
Not in Overwatch 2, but in Overwatch, this Overwatch.
I would have nightmares all around. The rally from Funny Astro and Carpe opening things up, finding Feather who tried to get away. Here comes the grab, nowhere to go. And you don't even need the Dragons here. Jonak actually safely able to keep the NYXL alive with that Transcendence. Okay. But is it going to be long enough? I mean, Carpe is on a terror right now, finding so many of these hits and following up from these Discord orbs that Alarm is putting onto the NYXL.
Nice little headshot, Kalios there. The hardest shots to hit his hands over, the ones that are right in front of you, I swear. But, of course, Carpe lands every single one of them right in the dome. Fusion still rolling with this payload. They've got mines to deny. They've got Transcendence as well as backup. The NYXL not coming in with all too much of their own. They've only got that grav. They are going to definitely be able to touch again. Fast composition with the Tracer, with the ball, but they need something to follow this Graviton Surge up because it's going to get completely denied by Alarm. Flora's going to have to hit a fantastic headshot.
Oh, and not only is the Dragons going to try to cut them off. Yeah, that and Jonek took a lot of damage from those Dragons. Forced to stay on the payload, but they actually get off. The minefields, too, were there, and it prevented them to actually rotate safely. They took so much damage, too, rotating in that the Fusion are just wiping in Excel. They have to reset anyways, but currently the Fusion are just on a momentum run so far with this payload.
I think that was a perfect way to play that, though. If you are the NYXL, you don't want to invest the grab because you've got nothing to kill the people in the grab. You didn't have the Dragons at that point. You didn't have the stick either. Like, are you just going to lob the Hangzhou arrows in? Hopefully you get a headshot right. That would be perfect, yeah, but if you only catch tank, it's going to be a little bit more difficult. That EMP was huge.
What? The answer back, yeah, for the grab, and Kalios dies for it too. The follow from the Fusion immediately, and Yapunk gets hacked and goes down. Both tanks are down for the NYXL, and the Sports need some help. They need to back off. They're taking so much damage, but the Fusion again are just unstopped, and Hoppa is doing so much damage. Fully charged basically right here, and we'll have the grab to stop the NYXL from contesting the payload.
I'll have to double check that on the replay though, because I'm not entirely sure where those Dragons went. Maybe they got cancelled. A lot of abilities happened at once there. Happening at once. There's the rally for Funny Astro. This should just be the game, but look at that Graviton Surge in the corridor near the spawn. This looks as good as over.
And look at that, the fact that nobody has been able to touch Hoppa, just getting deleted. The Fusion having no problem taking this payload all the way to the finish line, Jaws. What is this look right now? You have to wonder, what is going on with the NYXL and what are they thinking here? That was just absolutely a steamroll looking at the Philadelphia Fusion.
They just... I mean, the Fusion, they just had ults. They were able to just snowball their ults just so much more effectively. I think it comes down again to that point for the NYXL where you're sitting near second, you get to touch, you have grab, you have nothing to follow up, you decide not to use it, but then Fusion, because they win that fight, they got a lot more ult charge, EQO gets EMP, like, man, that's a real tough ult snowball from the Philadelphia Fusion. Wow, the NYXL, they're really going to have to come out with something nasty on their offense here to make it an equal or better time. 2 minutes 51 on route as well is pretty good, Vicky. The spawn positions are so close, and you can get out them very quickly. And the sight lines as well for the spawns are really nice too. You can kind of, if you're like a Widowmaker, you can jump out the right side, get a nice little angle on people on the payload. Like, it's a pretty tough map to complete with time. A lot of stall potential. I was having a little bit of giggle. Okay. Having a little giggle, just waving hello. I think Zen's hello is my favorite hello in the game. Just the way he like moves his hand. He's like he's wiping a window. That's what I always imagine. He's like
I've never thought
just
about that.
Just wiping a window down, just polishing it off, you know what I mean? Or polishing a mirror. Greetings.
Zen as a whole, just his whole character design, absolutely love with it. That's what
love
I
it.
strive to be. I wish I could be that peaceful when I'm getting rolled in my ranked games. I don't know how Zen could do it, honestly. Anyways, rolling out here at NYXL. Now opting to go for a similar composition with Feather this time on the Sombra. They do have Yukpeng on the monkey here. He already getting hit with that Discord EQO, falling low. He manages to get away though, translocate away. And that's also some intel to take in for the Fusion as they are holding on to this high ground here, and the NYXL are just trying to find an angle.
I was doing so much damage. So much damage.
Oh
He
my.
double dinks Jonak. Doesn't matter if Hopper's asleep, he's just going to peek over the edge there, insta-kill him, and this is going to be a clean-up, Carpe Stay Alive challenge. Very easy. Achievement unlocked. And yeah, Alarm cleans on up. Wow, that was a very nice defense. I mean, ideally, you dive Alarm here, right? If you're the NYXL, you set Feather up in the back of Big Earls, and then wait for Yukpeng Kalios to dive in. Then Feather reveals himself as Alarm is trying to stagger backwards. You shoot him in the back, and then you end up killing him, and then you follow up from there. But the peel from the Fusion is just so good. Funny Astro's Brigitte has really improved in like strides over the last few months. In fact, the last season, his Brigitte, when he first started playing it, was just something that could almost be ignored. But it's really a new level at this point.
To start this engagement, the nano boost here to Yukpeng. He tries to go in, but they delete him. The repositioning from Fusion just to counter that. They knew exactly what was coming here. And with Yukpeng getting shut down, see the NYXL taking a slower approach. The minefields too, and Mono finding Jonak and Flora. NYXL, they don't really have a lot of time here. Less than 2 minutes now, as they are getting sent back to the spawn. The rest of the Fusion are just deleting them. But yeah, you talk about damage coming in too. Alarm has just been on another level. Being able, you talk about Carpe being on the Hangzhou. I mean, might as well add another sniper in here with Alarm being right on top of Big Earls. And Funny Astro having this rally too is just going to put a dent to the NYXL.
Yeah, I mean, Alarm is just, he is that sniper in the back line. Like, he's got gold damage every single game. Gold healing, gold damage, gold limbs, he's a clap. Like, the guy is doing so much work, and the peel, like I said before, the peel is just so good. They nano Yukpeng in, and they can't get anything done because the Fusion just springboard back out. They absorb all of the... Oh, here comes the EMP. Hang on a second.
Oh, yeah, and that just dives in. That was a perfect opportunity because Funny Astro was right there to help peel for Alarm, but that EMP coming in and Yukpeng in position to just follow up was beautiful. It does have that primal too, but with Alarm and Funny Astro out of this fight here, Jaws, Fusion are forced to back off, and now the NYXL finally have some breathing room. Oh, EQ is right there, though.
Nah, just going to translocate away. They know where he is, though. You do, like, leave a little trail behind you.
Yeah.
When you do translocate, so they kind of know where he is. Manu gets the touch, he gets hacked, he gets antied.
Oh.
Big EMP. Is it going to matter? Probably not. Yukpeng doesn't end up going down for Mano, though. This could be winnable. EQ ends up falling too, unfortunately. Graviton Surge used, Friday low.
Oh, they're going back in. The grabbing the Transcendence too, but Hoppa's anti, so he won't heal up. It's okay, it ends in time to regain some of those shields. Mono gets hacked, gets the lead, and Kalios with the follow-up. Alarm coming in and taking out Jonak. Friday also out for the NYXL. Some limited time coming in with less than 30 seconds. The NYXL are forced to back off with no support, and Kalios going down.
Yukpeng's going to Primal Rage back in, though. And Flora ends up going down, too. This looks like just a feed of Ultimate Charge at this point.
Huh. And with less than 15 seconds, yeah, I'm not too sure. Maybe wanted to use that Primal to at least contest, but now you won't have it.
3-0 maybe? 3-0 on the cards, potentially. I mean, Feather's going to be able to come back, maybe get an EMP 5% away, but already the supports are getting dove.
Overtime taken away. They're forced to try to at least touch the payload here. Carpe going right back in. They do manage to contest. Hoppa just getting into position, does have that high ground, but doesn't have a lot of that charge. But the EMP does find 3, and a huge anti coming in from Jonak. Yukpeng finding Alarm, the biggest threat here. He won't be able to build into that Transcendence, but Funny Astro is here instead. It's not going to be enough healing as the NYXL finally find that opportunity. But the threat that has been so consistent from the Fusion has been EQO. Has another EMP now. It's going to be 3 in finding Yukpeng. He's going to go down, but they don't touch the cart. They're gone. The Fusion put on too much pressure, and the NYXL lose map number 2.
Oh, match point now for the Philadelphia Fusion. Vicky, EQO's manual hacks are crazy good. There are also the EMPs that follow up after that as well. Unreal. Really hard carrying on the Sombra currently. You saw him at the very end, managed to hack Flora. Can't dash anymore as the Tracer instantly gets picked up, builds towards the EMP, sends that out, gets 3, they clean up. Like, EQO is so good right now on this Sombra. Anything you put him on, he is just clapping cheeks. We're going to jump to a break. We got map number 3, potentially the final one too. This could be a 3-0, Vicky. Imagine, just imagine. We'll see in a bit.
Can't wait.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by TeamSpeak, the official voice supplier of the Overwatch League.
Doesn't seem like a lot of people expected it to go to where we are right now, right? 2-0, Philadelphia Fusion, NYXL. This? Really? This? Come on! NYXL, you've looked so good over the last couple of weeks. Where's that fire in your bellies that you've been having? I don't know where it's gone. Maybe it's been extinguished. I'm not sure. The Philadelphia Fusion, 2 maps. And they first hold them on Route 66 as well. Like, EQO has just been an absolute nightmare on the Sombra. The NYXL are going to have to pull out something rather special to turn this one around. Could be a reverse sweep, but honestly, Vicky, at this rate, I don't think it will be. It looks like it's going to be a clean sweep.
I said earlier on Legion that it was going back and forth. It did look close. I saw that NYXL, they made some composition swaps. They looked like they were trying to adapt on the fly. They were trying to do it as quickly as possible. After what I just watched on Route 66, I don't think that's true anymore. I had a gut feeling too, Jaws. I was looking at the series for my pick'ems, and I went with logic. You know, I was like, you know, based on set history, NYXL, they have Fusion's number, right? Fusion, though, have been able to have more time in working together with EQO. They're able to have Funny Astro now. People were sleeping on Funny Astro's Brigitte. Where is all that, right? Because right now, the Fusion are just looking completely different. They don't want to get 3-0'd by the NYXL this season. So now they're making a statement. They're coming back, and now they're at match point. They just need to take one more map to beat the NYXL this weekend.
Were they sleeping on Astro's Brig, though? I don't think they were. Like, Astro's Brig, when he first started picking it up for the Fusion, didn't look great at all, really. They actually subbed in Alarm to play Brig some of the times. It was like, that's how much... They didn't have, like, too much confidence to start off with. Astro was just kind of learning Brig in, like an Overwatch setting. Of course, it's very different from playing in something like even just like high-level ranked. It's extremely different. And they had Alarm come in and play literally every single different support pick that was like crucial to the compositions. And that was the kind of the joke too. It was like, oh man, I wish we could kind of clone Alarm, and then we'd have 2 of him, and then we could just put him on every role, every support role, you know. But now Astro's Brig looks really good, and it has done for quite a while. So the sleeping on the Brig, if NYXL still doing that, I got some news for you. It shouldn't be slept on, because look at how much value he's providing. Look how much he's protecting Alarm, protecting EQO, and protecting the payload for that matter too. You saw at the very end, booped away the Nano Brig to save the day. All right, Hanamura, EQO scouting on the Sombra yet again. Same kind of comps too, so EQO Sombra, they have to find a way to shut him down because he has been such a menace. Oh, Flora almost didn't spot him there. Unfortunately, EQO wasn't in range for the manual hack, although Flora definitely would have whipped around.
It was in position too. You saw how quickly Flora was trying to react there. Kalios forces back off. They're charging in on him. Mono doesn't want to try to overextend, so he backs off in time. This is built into Alarm's nano boost. A little bit ahead of Jonak already.
Really careful these anti-nades. To either side, to be fair.
Ooh.
Wow. Mono just gets lasered down.
Yeah, Mono not going to be in this fight, and you can already see the way the NYXL are playing. They're tired of it. They want to make sure the Fusion don't feel as confident as they have. They're forced to back off. Bahapa is trying to engage right back in. Kalio's also here to bring in that damage from the charge of Zarya. Nanoboo's coming in from Alarm. Jonak nearly there. Feather gets hacked a little bit here. Jonak now activates the trigger with the Nano Boost, and Kalio's trying to frontline, does find a lot of this pressure, tries to delete EQO. He manages to translocate away, and Carpe trades that, though, for Feather. Fusion, they were trying to stay on that point, but they couldn't long enough. The NYXL were doing so much damage there, Jaws.
Yeah, way too much. That was a big bubble, by the way, from Yukpong, stopping Hopper, getting a lot of damage down when he was nanoed and 100 energy. He couldn't quite break through the bubble with the nano. You'll be even like, yeah, whatever, bubble's kind of useless, but he was really trying hard to do so, and then the return nano from Jonak set it up perfectly. This is the fire that we were looking from the NYXL. They're storming onto second already.
Wasting no time, and they have the grab here. They have the ultimates to work with, and with the Rally Friday trying to start this engagement, they have the grab. Kalos just waiting in position. The EMP, though, is going to stop their plans. It's going to melt down Kalios. To answer right back, Feather has an EMP of themselves. Papa is going to go down with the grab, but Funny Astro now, having the Rally second, is going to try to keep the rest of Fusion alive. See Jonak falling down, and so is Friday. The way the Fusion now are able to come back from that and follow up from EQO's hack here, it really shows you that the Fusion have really been able to play into the Sombra composition comfortably, and now they're able to hold back the NYXL, but still they have a lot of time to work with after that first initiative push here on that first point.
Yeah, stupendous counter EMP there from EQO, just taking down Kalios, who was actually it looked like he was jumping down to try and punish somebody, but his shields were stripped away, and yeah, so did the rest of his life. 4 minutes, not bad at all. Ideally, just build up towards another EMP. Hopefully, well, you're ideally just grabbing a pulse here, but grabbing somebody from the Fusion without just like eating it into the back line at this point is going to be fairly tough. Yokpong has been hacked, he's pressing points, there's the grab. Uh-oh, Carpe dead!
That's what I was expecting before when they were holding onto that high ground, and with Carpe going down, EQOs are already on their way to get that second round of EMP. Already at 75%. Mono's hacked and antied here. He gets deleted. Feather finding that opportunity. Yopung just trying to control some space. They already have the first take, but it's getting contested here. The grab now coming out from Hoppa. He's taking a lot of damage, but he can't get out in time as Yopung's nano boosted, and he's going to be able to help take care of that backline by the spawn. No one's stopping him just yet, and now the Fusion out of 3 members. EQO dives right back in, and with Carpe also following up. These 2 DPS players, when they synergize and they're on the same page here, Joss, they're so lethal, and look, they get to save the day, prevent another take from being taken by the NY Excel.
Another really nice EMP from EQO, sealing the deal. Like you said, the tag team duo, EQO and Carpe. EMP straight into Carpe, just clicking heads. Still a tick though, was acquired by the NYXL in a minute, so yeah, you know, not tragic. Yeah, they have 3 minutes left, Vicky. They can get 2 ticks maybe. Hopefully off the TMP. They knew EQO hasn't got his available, so targeting Hopper here, Funny Astro's going to be perfect. There it is, hits 5!
Feather trying to answer right back, and Flora being able to make sure that that doesn't go wasted. Mono and Hoppa go down. Anti onto Kalios on Friday. Friday gets away in time, gets a health pack, and also has Rally. Everyone taking a quick nap, but with the rest of NYX already on the point, already 2 ticks going in their favor, but Jonek's gone. He's not in this fight. The Rally from Friday is the only thing left here to help keep the rest of the NYXL in this fight. Carpe just trying to dance here. He can't get away in time. Fortunately getting stuck inside that bubble, but here comes Hoppa finding Friday and Kalios in that room, and Yopung gets a 3K while he's at it. Everyone was over to the side, and they were pretty low, and the Fusion, their spawn is right behind that point, so they weren't scared.
Yeah, hey now, you are still looking at 2 ticks. They got another one, and it took them another minute. So, you know, finishing with more than a minute, very possible right now if you are the NYXL. You haven't got crazy amounts to work with, though. That's the only issue. I mean, Nano and the grab, great, but you're running into an EMP. Speaking of which,
they're feeling confident. The EMP, Kalios and Friday, they get hit by it, but what really hits Yopung is the anti, making sure he can't go away. Friday following up. Currently, the NYXL are forced to back off here, but they do find EQO in the process, so they can build into these ultimates here, as Kalios does have that grab. Here comes the grab here. Kalios needs some help too. Another anti onto Carpe and Funny Astro. Flora just trying to find this fight to EQO, who is on the Tracer now. As the NYXL, they're trying to get back onto the point. They have less than a minute now to drop from that high ground and try to contest, but they are waiting for Feather and that EMP.
He's 15% away, and Yopung's already dead. They have 50 seconds remaining. It feels like right now the NYXL, all they need to do is just back out and go again. There's their flash, there's the headshot. Carpe hunting them down. He smelled blood in the water. I mean, Carpe dies, yeah, but look at EQO's positioning. They're chasing them away basically solo at this point. NYXL need to reset. They're going with EMP, they're going with Pulse, they're going with Rally, Primal, 2. They're looking great. The problem is if Funny Astro doesn't get pulsed here, it might be easy streak for the Fusion.
Although the NYXL have some tools to work with for this last fight, so do the Fusion. Deadeye now coming in from Carpe, the immediate peel from Hoppa. Funny Astro now coming in with the Rally, and Yopung going down is not a good look. The EMP finding 3. Fusion now being able to have that lead into this fight. Ignore the EMP. Flora does find that pulse bomb onto Carpe, but everyone is funneled into that health pack room. Nobody left to touch. NYXL, they can't get that second point. Fusion are just looking so strong here. I just specifically want to highlight EQO, who has just been on a tear since the start of the series.
Yeah, his Sombra's looking so crazy. And I will say as well, Funny Astro has been looking also really good. His Brigitte positioning is perfect. Like his rally timings as well is just fantastic. There's a nice little scene. Whoop!
Where'd he go?
Where'd he go? Where'd he go? Hang on a second.
Wait, we're actually...
Wait a second. Different universe.
Wait. What? We just witnessed the Matrix go down in Overwatch.
It just zipped off, took a phone call out of the Matrix real fast.
Hold up, I'm taking a call.
My God, I think I'm pretty sure we saw that in first person, actually. He jumped up, hit his head on the ceiling, and he bounced like over Alarm's head. So he was just like slumped in a corner, just sad looking. That was caught Alarm a bit by surprise as well. Nice little win condition here though for the Philadelphia Fusion. Very, very clear win con. What, 90% on point B? And NYXL had 5 minutes as well to attack. They got a tick a minute almost, right? But it was at the end of the day, Fusion just knowing their win conditions. EQO, very, very aggressive EMP, second to last fight, forcing NYXL to go again really early, switched over to the Tracer, and then Carpe was just hunting people like he was playing solo kill Kree. Like just hunting people in the backline. When Carpe is feeling himself, when he's really just super ooh, nice little bit of surfing from EQO. That was actually really nice to get over the choke completely there without throwing his Translocator through the window, which makes it incredibly obvious and easy to kind of chase down. That was actually pretty sneaky. I like to see it.
Oh, the comms too. You see EQO talking immediately, telling Mono to find that opportunity. Mono actually takes a lot of damage, so he's forced to back off. Yeah, and EQO also does too. Mono's also hacked, by the way. He gets taken down by Feather. Great build up on that EMP that he wants to get ahead of time, especially with the way that EQO is playing. And Carpe's also having the side battle, but Punk gets baited into the room. He gets hacked. Can he get away in time? They trade. He can't, but Floor tries to help him out. Carpe is still, though, on their back line, so they have to watch out.
Yeah, they really do. I mean, Jonax in trouble. He's half HP. Nice stun onto Carpe. Takes him out as quick as you like, but that did grant Philadelphia Fusion so much space, Vicky.
They got a touch here. They already got the first 2 ticks. The NYXL finding the opportunity. Kalio's fully charged up here, having so much damage. He's trying to find an opportunity here, but when you talk about damage, Alarm just being able to beam Kalios. He doesn't want to put himself out in the open. You see the Fusion just playing a little bit slower, just waiting things out for Mono just dive back in.
Ooh,
Okay, goodbye. Goodbye. Like a fly swatter. Actually deleted him here, but talk about the Zarya v Zarya. Look at all this damage coming in, but when you have the backup, the grab, sticking Fusion over to the ground. Transcendence now coming in too. Jonak actually with the Transcendence.
And he's dead.
And he's not in this fight anymore, but not within this universe.
I'm telling you right now, that looked like a bit of a misclick on Jonak's half. Like, he Transcendence in front of 4 people, what, to get away? Like, just throw yourself off the map, let them cap, and then come back in with a trans. Okay, you've switched. Maybe that was their plan all along. Hey, we're just going to switch to Ana. It's okay, boys. We're just switching to Ana. No worries. We didn't fat finger the Transcendence. Not a problem. Not a problem.
All according to plan, and with that plan, the rally coming in from Bunny Astro. They're already on the point. NYXL managing to contest here. Flora taking a side angle. The grab from Hotba trying to keep the NYXL to the side. The hack here of the EMP, but Carpe popping off, finding 2 heads. Friday does punish him for that, stopping him with that shield bash. But the rest of the Fusion are here. They don't have EQO for that EMP this time around, but a nice anti coming in from Jonak as he comes back from the spawn doors. Kalio's taking a lot of that damage, but as they do hug that health pack over to the side, they're taking a lot of that pressure here that the NYXL is putting on. They've lost Mono, traded for Pung, but the NYXL still have that spawn advantage right behind them. The Fusion understand that, so they're just going for a reposition and wait for the EMP to engage.
Yeah, just back off, go again. Like, you were just taking so much damage and just feeding so much ult charge to the NYXL bank there. You don't want to do that. Like, you only need a couple of ticks and a bit. You just want to go again with EMP. They've got all the tools that they need. You know Yukpung switched recently as well.
Oh, here we go. The EMP. This is the opportunity. Kalios also has that Discord orb on them, but EQO gets punished for this. Alarm now with the Transcendence, realizing the situation, just trying to allow Fusion to get into positioning here. Back off at the same time. They knew that they couldn't follow up from the EMP here, Jaws. And look at this. The immediate position change from the NYXL to try to contest them as they are backing off. And they've lost Bunny Astro. There's going to have to be a reset from the Fusion.
We have complete reset yet again. Jonak saving the day in that last engagement. Oh, Mano flattened Juck Punk. Shouldn't matter though. There you go, all cleaned up. Yeah, Jonak saved Kalios there in that last engagement. You saw the way EQO was setting up. He knew who he needed to get. Like, Kalios was out of position. He was on the high ground. He was battling the fusion. The EMP landed on him and maybe like one other person. They were able to burn down Kalios super fast. But Jonak hit him with the nano, filled his health bar back up, and damage resistant out the wazoo as well. So there's no way you were taking him down. They were able to kind of stabilize from there. Your supports have the high ground. Jonak's doing free damage plus healing as well. Nades are way easier to hit from the high ground. Also, like, very, 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 very good response to the EMP from the NYXL. And now they have the EMP of their own, plus the grab, plus 2 support ultimates too.
Yeah. The Fusion, though, they have a lot of tools themselves. Talk about the grab. They utilize it immediately as the Fusion try to go through that doorway. They answer right back, too, but was that really the answer here? You won't have the rally. Instead, it's the NYXL that used their own rally upon getting 2 in the process, diving right back into the high ground. Finally finding some of that momentum shifted back in their favor as they are able to successfully hold back the Fusion here. And they have only 1 minute and 40 seconds left, but that's still enough time for them to re-engage with their ultimates.
Yeah, not the worst trade in the world either. You trade Grav for Grav Rally. Wow, okay. Alarm just gets picked off in the back line. That's another 20 or so seconds gone now from the Philadelphia Fusion's time bank. So not going to be able to finish. I was about to say finish over a minute. They didn't even need to finish the second point because NYXL only have 89%. And EQO's dead. Okay, that's another 20 seconds gone. How does EQO die to Yuck Punk there? That's what I want to know. Carpe's now the Kree instead of the Tracer. He's annoyed. He's ready to rock and roll. Double support off the Philadelphia Fusion, but here we go. This rally's going to have to be massive. They have to activate it early to stop Feather from disabling that ultimate and then them just destroying Funny Astro. EQO already coming and just making sure they know exactly where Friday is too. Oh, they see where Flora is as well. This EMP could be big.
Oh, we're here to shut down the Deadeye. Perfect opportunity for EQO, but now he gets hacked. He can't get away. Big EMP onto the Fusion. Carpe tries to get away. He manages to get to a health pack, and now Flora just putting on so much pressure on that off angle. Less than 20 seconds for the Fusion to try to take this series home. They're already at match point, but putting them to sleep. Here comes Jonak, stopping them in their shoes. Philadelphia Fusion are dropping like flies now, Jaws, and they have less than 10 seconds to contest.
Yeah, they got no chance at this point. I mean, who's really going to touch? Flora spins around. He knows what he's just done. There you go. EQO gets there just in time, does trigger OT, but it's not going to happen. NYXL maybe starting their comeback now, Vicky. They managed to take Hanamura 2-1. Fusion still on match point. However, the fire has been lit under the NYXL. They're ready to rumble.
It's almost like they've swapped spots here. Now with the NYXL up a map, the Fusion maybe looking to 3-1 the NYXL, unless the NYXL now finally figuring things out can get the reverse. We'll see the results of that on the other side of this break. Don't go anywhere, guys. NYXL are clawing their way back from being at the disadvantage.
Well, the best place to start a reverse sweep is on map number 3. Funnily enough, NYXL now take Hanamura and continue the series on. Still the Fusion, though, Vicky. Still a match point.
Yeah, right now they just need to take one more map, and the NYXL, they're going to have to bow to the Fusion currently as they want to keep this record here. They don't want to get 3-0'd by the NYXL this season because currently the NYXL have been up against the Fusion for the last 2 series that they've played against them. I believe it's ended in a 3-1 each time, so it's almost like deja vu, except they've swapped places like I mentioned earlier, and it's like the Fusion right now, they're just playing on another level. Specifically, I know I highlighted him before, but EQO being incorporated into this roster has really worked amazingly for the Fusion. I feel like they're feeling a lot more confident. They're able to really execute between Carpe following up too with EQO. The way the Fusion right now are playing, it's really enjoyable. And now looking at the NYXL, maybe they're crawling back still. They still managed to take that last map, Jaws, and they still have 2 more maps to work with.
Yeah, hold your horses, Fusion fans. You aren't out of the woods just yet, okay? The NYXL still have a lot to bite back. Yeah, I'd be concerned, though. Still, we're heading on to Numbani as our next map, and this is another map that's fairly good for the Sombra. Like, on first, there's a lot of opportunities for you to kind of go for these manual hacks, a lot of off angles for you to wait for people to dive in and then hack people. EQO's manual hack, and then Philadelphia Fusion being able to kind of capitalize on that is crazy. The percentage of like the hack kill percent, you know what I mean. Hack kill percent, we're going to call it that. It must be ridiculously high. His success rate with doing that is insane. And then coupled with Carpe 2 sitting on another off angle, just kind of clicking heads after the hack goes through. Like, man, this is a Fusion that are just showing up right now. They could be 4-0, Vicky, or 3-0, maybe 4-0-2 after week number 2. So Philadelphia Fusion right now, they're sitting pretty. The NYXL, though, still want to claw their way back as well. They are a little bit of a rough start towards the beginning of the season. They want to make their way towards those playoffs. We're so close now.
We talked about it, too, before. The NYXL, everyone's running out of time. This is a team, too, that has been able to really make a comeback as the season progresses. But, unfortunately, just not a lot of time left for the NYXL to really do much here. So, this is their opportunity to keep that streak alive against a team that they've consistently beat in the league right now, specifically this season. And with the way that the Fusion are playing, again, I said it too, and you did as well. You summed it up perfectly. They're just on another level right now, and it's going to be really difficult to make some of those adjustments. They managed to do it on Hanamura, but can they do it on Numbani now?
That is the question. On everybody's lips, Vicky, who's going to win? Can you imagine if you just said that when you went into a series, like every single game? Who's going to win? I don't know. I'm in a bit of a strange mood today. Oh man, it's too many video games. Too many video games playing, too many video games watching, you know?
Yeah, I was going to say earlier today
it's been
after
I
watched a bit of North America and things looked mad there too.
Same.
So,
I think that's why I'm going a bit crazy, to be honest with you.
I got breadsticks though in the process. So I'm not going to complain.
There you go. Oh man. Today has just been wacky. Just absolutely wacky. Breadsticks. Titans winning, like NYXL losing maybe to the Philadelphia Fusion here. It's crazy. Who'd have guessed? EQO still starting on the Sombra. Yeah, this is what I like to see. So again, oof, okay, that is definitely just a fully charged right click onto Flora. Who better to start this one off than Alarm, I guess. Look at them holding this front position too. I mean, EQO is going to get a lot of easy ult charge as well. Not too many things that can kind of punish him unless Feather hacks him. As they go for the quick reset as Alarm, yeah, wow. I love getting first picks as Zenyatta, and like Alarm's just unbelievably good at Zen, and just like his ability to get first picks as well, just with the right clicks, is crazy. Wow, big follow-up though onto EQO's Translocator as he tried to zip back to it.
Yeah, but now Alarm needs some help. Goes down as Feather manages to find him. Yapeng now trying to push the rest of Fusion off the high ground, dives right back in. The NYXL now have some free space to take 2 of these ticks already on the point. Somebody needs to contest, but they're stuck over to this hallway. finally finding someone. Mono tries their best, but after getting hacked, and now Carpe is asleep, NYXL officially downloaded here, considering the fact that the Fusion had no chance of just trying to hold them back. The only one that really got a lot was Alarm, who was finding some of these picks, and now he's gone because he has to reset with the rest of the team.
That was such a crucial pick off an EQO. You lose a lot of your pressure there. As soon as those manual hacks are out of the picture, it's so much easier for Yakpun, Kalios, like Flora, even Feather, like anybody to dive on in because you're not scared of getting hacked, losing your abilities, and then getting focused by the Zen and by the rest of Fusion. Very nice bit of tech there by Friday, bouncing off the bus, the shield bash. You'll love to see it. Love to see this too. Feather with an EMP setting up with Flora on the sidelines.
You see the way that the Fusion are also holding onto this high ground here too. Just trying to build into some of Hoppa's damage output. Seeing Carpe does have that pulse bomb over to the side, just trying to find an opportunity to isolate Jonak, who has that nano boost, but Carpe can't even retreat. Flora's on his tail. I'm not too sure if he actually took the health pack low-key from Carpe to prevent him from healing. But Carpe goes down regardless. He won't be able to execute the pulse bomb. Instead, the nano boost going on to Yakpung, who has the primal. Comes EQO with the hack, only finding Friday and Flora, and now currently Feather finding 3. Mono also gets hit, rather 4. He gets hit with an anti, and he goes down immediately. Here comes the grab to answer back, but Friday already activated the rally. Tries to keep everybody from the NYXL alive, but just not enough to help out Jonak as Carpe takes him down with the pulse bomb. Talking about Carpe though, take a look at Flora. They managed to take that second point, and they were just able to dominate around the Fusion, sandwich them almost for that second point and for that fight.
The double grabs right next to each other, just creating a mini universe there. Unfortunately, it was just dominated by MXL players and a lot of rally armor on top, like you said. Friday activating that a little bit earlier on before they did get grabbed, and they were able to chunk through a lot of that damage, or live through a lot of that damage because of that rally armor. EQO's at least nearing another EMP. Like the EMPs are used at fairly similar times, and EQO's 5% away from another one. I mean, he's going to need it. 4 minutes to, and they're already on this last bend. There it is. EMP is massive. Hits 5.
Immediate. Yep. And now the only one that was safe was Feather, but Yakpung and Friday go down. That's going to probably force Feather to back off. NYXL have been deleted following up from that EMP from EQO. You mentioned it actually, just trying to build up into it, but EQ has just been consistently building these EMPs so quick.
He might as well be playing Farming Simulator 2021 at this point. Like, this guy is unbelievably quick at farming the EMP. Like, luckily though, Feather is pushing the payload. Are they going to stop him? Yeah, okay. I was going to say, you have to just stop him there. He can just sit there and just push that payload for free. You got to do something about it. They don't have combo either. Talking about the Fusion, they don't have that Graviton Surge online yet either. They're going to Nano Monkey, and I can imagine the MYXL and go from there. Nice hack.
Opportunity, but Jonak, yeah, gets hacked by EQO, who's backing off a little bit, noticing Friday right there to help with the shield bash. Meanwhile, Pung, he's nano boosted. He's activated the primal. Kalios is about to get the grab way ahead of Hotba, but Alarm has that Transcendence to negate that. Just waiting for the opportunity. The Dragons have been unleashed, though, not waiting for the grab, noticing that the NYXL have already been able to push this payload a lot closer than the Fusion would like. See them backing off ever so slightly. Carpe getting a quick headshot. Okay, that was fancy here. Carpe just noticing that EQ out of match as well. And anti out to Hoppa and Funny Astro. They are stuck in this grab, but the rally coming in. Alarm is there to save them with the Transcendence, but the EMP from EQO as he builds them up as quickly as he uses them. NYXL unfortunately can't get that progress, but they have a good time here with 2 minutes and 40 seconds to move this payload.
Feather's got his EMP. I mean, they're going to need it. Hey, at least you got a lot of time in the time bank. 2 minutes and 30 seconds. They started this attack, or at least left this payload at roughly this spot before with about 4 minutes to go. There's again, Alarm, very quick reactive Transcendence on the grab. He's going to be all right. He should be fine as Carpe lands. Nice little headshot again.
Here I am.
Why are you revealing yourself there? I'm not entirely sure, because now you're just going to have to zip back. Yeah, that was a bit strange. I mean, I'd rather Feather just stay in Viz there, because he has EMP already. You don't want to feed Alarm ult charge. Okay, Hopper's trying to spy check.
Getting in some of that information. Does have that EMP, but only EMP's Hoppa. not a meme MP, considering the fact that Hoppa goes down with that grab, and now the rally isn't going to be enough to help out Fusion. No tanks for that space, but Alarm is still on a tear, still finding Kalios here, who won't be in that front line. Jonak has that nano boost onto Yakpung though, and that's okay. You don't have Kalios, but you do have Yakpung with the primal, sending everyone back, hugging the spawn. Meanwhile, Carpe coming out on the other side with the Dragons, still finding these picks. Jonak and Yakpung go down, and now Hoppa, they trade that, but the Fusion have the number advantage, and the NYXL are forced to back off.
I think there was a little bit of a memp moment there from Feather, hitting only a single person with the EMP. I mean, they got Hopper, but spawns are close. You really want a couple of kills, maybe 3, you know, off of an EMP in that close quarters. Kind of disastrous. They do almost get the payload in, but now under a minute also. Not the best look, considering we had 4 minutes before. Nice little clip there from Flora. Someone touched the payload. They're good. They already killed both tanks on the side of NYXL. They're not going to be able to finish with time. There's just no way.
Actually, it's saying here, an Alarm also has Transcendence. Feather's trying to reach that EMP as quickly as possible with less than 35 seconds. We're rearing that final fight point here, Jaws, and the NYXL do have that grab and Force Pulse Bomb to start things off here.
Big grab. I say big. Only landed one.
Only Hoppa. Hoppa is just not having it here, unfortunately. No fun zone. Flora misses the stick, too, on the Pulse Bomb. Does get cleaned up anyway as Carpet goes down to Feather. Here comes a Transcendence from Alarm, but he is also hacked. And yeah, now being able to utilize that rally after getting out of that hack here. Kalios goes down, and the NYXL, they were scattered everywhere. They weren't even grouped. The Fusion now, being able to hold them back, despite having so much time when they reach this third points, they're not going to be able to touch.
Jonak and Friday went down so early on in that fight, Vicky. They another memp moment, apart from this time it was a grab. They grabbed one in the front line. Hopper wasn't having a good time, but to be honest with you, if you're Hopper in that situation, you're like, oh man, I got grabbed. This sucks, right? But you're also thinking, wait, Alarm doesn't have to buy the Transcendence here. I can spawn and we can stall because we have Wrecking Ball. I can just come back. It's not too much of an issue. We're not in OT just yet. You take those trades 9 times out of 10. You need follow-up kills after that Graviton Surge, but because they only got 1, it was very hard for them to set up with more. Alarm then used the Transcendence at the end, but, I mean, he didn't need it almost because Jonak and Friday were already dead. What a defense from the Fusion. 4 minutes they held off on the last bend of Numbani. I mean, we always say point 2 Numbani doesn't really exist. It's kind of a black hole of excitement, really, for the broadcast. Let's be real with ourselves here. Nothing happens ever. It's just a void filled with nothingness. Point A and point C are where it's at. They took NYXL ended up taking point A pretty rapidly, really. If you think about Numbani, normally it takes you kind of a 2, 3, 4 pushes maybe, building up ults first. But I've really struggled to end it all. Same situation almost as like they're in Hanamura too. They end up taking, what, 80%, almost 90 on the second point. Oh boy, oh boy. EQO, please. Please run out with a Genji. Shimada Brothers? Oh, yes, it is. Genji with the hand. So, okay, Shimada Brothers online. Nano boost for EQO. This is what I want to see on Numbani. Really easy to set up with a Genji here too, Vicky. You can set up with your main tank up here. Very easy to get Shuriken damage down. Plus, you're very safe too. A lot of sightlines for your healers to heal you from.
Yeah, when it comes to Numbani, being able to go on that Genji pick, you got that verticality to work with. Diving in, though, Pung trying to find Mono, who's already low. Manages to back away in time. Just build into Alarm's nano boost soon. Allie's just being able to get that solo grab onto Hoppa. Unfortunate. Just shaking that off here as Fusion now dive onto this high ground. They're trying to boot the NYXL off of it, but unfortunately, so much damage coming in from the NYXL as they're ready. You also have to deal with Friday and that shield bash.
I think Jonak's going to be a little bit more stalwart staying up there. Like, he's not going to budge for any old Winston jumping at you. Even if it is mono. Nice sleep.
Okay. Taking a nap here. Yep, and Feather also finding Alarm, too. Carpet going down, the Fusion needing to back off as the NYXL take away some from their time. EQ also getting some extra credit. Flora now also giving Kalios some energy while he's at it too. Build up into that pulse bomb to stop the Fusion from approaching that next fight because they just lost that first one pretty handily by the NYXL.
Yeah, and almost half the time bank is burnt also. I mean, you're looking for Nano Blade. That's it. At the end of the day, Nano into Blade with the Winston 2. But the issue is, at least for the Philadelphia Fusion, Feather can sit on this EMP. As soon as EQO signals almost like he wants to go in, pulls the Blade, gets nanoed, you can hit him with the EMP, maybe even a manual hack, stop him getting resets on those dashes, will really shut him down and shut down this push, and then you've wasted 2 minutes of the time. Nano boost onto Mono though, actually, as they go in.
Yeah, and Mono actually gets hit by the anti-Hoppa, taking a lot of that damage here. Mono just trying to keep them here, but the grab coming in from Kalios is going to keep the rest of the Fusion separated around the other corner, cleaning things up, wasting even more time. Now the Fusion have less than 1 minute and 45 seconds, but they do have some ultimates to re-engage here, despite wasting that nano boost.
Yeah, they do. They still have this Genji Blade, but without Nano, it looks like a pool noodle on a hot summer's day. Like, it does almost 0 damage, Vicky. Feather can go again for the manual hack. He can go for this EMP. All he needs to do is sit all the way in the back line, just making sure he can kind of telegraph where EQO is going to go. Very tough situation for the Fusion. Carpe is in Narnia.
Oh, he's actually waiting on the translocator right there, possibly waiting for Feather, who does have that EMP, so if he camps that and Feather goes back, doesn't use the EMP, that's going to be huge. If he manages to stay there for the whole time, of course, as now with the rally coming in, Mono getting hacked, he does have that primal, he could get away in time. EQO is still holding on to that Blade. Just has to find the opportunity for it. They have less than 1 minute, so they're wasting some time here. Alarm does find that pick onto Jonek, and here comes EQO on their back lines. He gets hacked in the process. Look how quickly he took that damage, but at least they are now on the point. The pulse bomb stick onto Yakpeng. They find these 2 ticks in the NYXL. They basically took their attention away from the point and just dove in, split their forces thin, and take the point. They're finally moving this payload along.
Yeah, the non-nano blade is just like a check on the enemy team. It's like, okay, we know you can't really kill us because we have Brig, we can boop you away, we can stun you, and you have only 200 HP. You haven't got the damage resistance, the nano. It's just checking how far they will actually go in, like if you're the Genji. It's like, okay, are you going to dive straight into us, or are you just going to kind of hold us at the door? And he held them at the door. Very early hold here, though, from the NYXL. I mean, you might as well at this point. You know EQO's in just switch, so Feather's going to have a massive lead on this EMP charge. I mean, the fight's already over at this point with Mano and Funny Astro going down. Kalios with the Graviton Surge, too. Perfect storm here for the NYXL. I said a black hole, a void of a excitement on this map. But if you hold it with this first corner, it can be very tough to get past if you have a lot of ults online.
Just actually have to utilize the grab now. Hoppa does find that Diva Bomb pick onto floor. Mono also gets hit with another anti. Jornek's been so consistent on singling him out, and with Alarm also going down. That's Fusion back to the drawing board, and the NYXL is successfully holding this corner. Yeah, so much damage too coming in from Kalios as he is holding that front line successfully. They don't even have a lot of ultimates to work with looking at the Fusion, minus Carpe about to get that pulse bomb. He needs a stick here until Friday at least. He does find it here too. Kalios is well going to trade that for Alarm. Despite that Carpe is going to go down as after a big anti from Jonek before he's fallen from the fight. Finding a lot of these trades, but they need to deal with EQO, the biggest threat they do, and the NYXL still hold back the Fusion. They're quite literally right there next to their spawn too, but they're not going to overextend. They're going to use that corner for cover.
They have to back off though, Vicky, because the spawns are so close for the Fusion. They know if they just trade 1-for-1 there, there's no way they can win out the fight in the long run, so they end up backing off. At least you save a little bit of space. However, look at the EMP charges, by the way. Feather's had this EMP for a while now. EQO's managed to catch him up, so that duel is kind of disappeared at this point. It's now whoever pulls the trigger first, hits that Q button. Look at everybody up on the high ground as well. Perfect target for Feather.
Well, as Mono actually using the minefields. Here comes the EMP. Does find 4 here in the process. They shut him down immediately. EQO to answer back. Time on to Friday Yapung. Kalios and Floor Feather are already dead, though. And now the rest of the Fusion are going to be able to get that momentum back. They've had such a limited time bank as the NYXL are doing such a good job on defense. But can they keep this up going into that point C?
I mean, the Philadelphia Fusion, they're just deforesting NYXL with these Hangzhou picks over and over again, like chucking the logs at them. Carpe manages to pick Feather out of the air as he's using EMP, so they can't follow up. disastrous. Absolutely 0 damage was done to the Philadelphia Fusion, basically, as that EMP went off. Flora's already dead. Carpe takes a nap, but it shouldn't matter. Look who's in the backline already. It's EQO.
An alarm, too, with the Transcendence to negate that grab. Coming in, Friday gets taken out. Both the supports isolated over to the side. Just a matter of time before the rest of the NYXL fall down like dominoes. Fusion already rounding that corner. You talk about chucking logs. I mean, look at the Fusion. Or might as well, they all have 99 wood cutting at this point because they have that momentum. They're still going, but they have less than a minute to get to that finish line.
I mean, they will Beaver Pet as well at that. 50 seconds to go. A few meters remain. Graviton Surge to the back. Oh! Whiffed.
Not gonna find anyone.
No way.
They walked to the other side. Oh no, they walked past him too. That did not go according to the plan. No, and there's such limited time, less than 35 seconds now. The rest of Fusion are out. Back to the drawing board before they re-engage. They have to try to contest and push it into overtime.
Now the Graviton Surge and Dragon combo got 0 damage. Actual 0 damage. 2 ultimates, feels good. 20 seconds remains. Eco still with the EMP. Mano with the mines. Funny Astro with a rally coming up. Not much left in the NYXL bank. Fusion still have to touch though, Vicky. Eco setting up.
Yeah. Now EQ has that EMP. We've seen how lethal he's been so far. He just needs to get into position here. NYXL are trying to play a little back. You can see both Jonak and Friday holding on those back lines. Feather does find Mono a really good start as they won't have the minefields for this overtime ticking away. Won't force the NYXL away from the payload. See Friday and Jonak just trying to get into position. Here comes the EMP, only finding Flora. Call that a memp as well. The bigger EMP coming through from Feather now finds 4, but Mono still finds a pick with those minefields as Flora forcibly just teleports right into it. Hopla trades that for Jonak. How long can they do this for? Alarm with the trans? Yes, Jaws. And that's going to keep the rest of Fusion alive and safe. It's just a matter of time before they manage to get a lot of this damage as Carpe has the pulse bomb, has to deal with this, gets the stick onto Yapong, who's already low. They get it, he gets 2. Oh, the Fusion at the very end with overtime ticking away. They take the series. NYXL now have to hold that L as the Fusion get their revenge.
Oh my word. By the skin of their teeth, they managed to do it. They had, a true memp moment. They managed to only EMP Flora. I think it was maybe a manual hack on Feather. Something happened to him too. He wasn't able to use his EMP. He came back with it. The initial pick from Feather as well onto Mano to start us off. Oh man, the NYXL had that in the palm of their hand.
Wow.
But it was the Philadelphia Fusion. They managed to outlast the NYXL at the very end. They allowed Mano to come back with the mines. Then Alarm saves the day once again with another fantastic Transcendence. The Trance to save Hopper's mech at the very last moment as he was hacked, about to lose it. Saves the day, and the Fusion, they take their first series off the NYXL. NYXL have beaten them twice already in a 3-1 fashion. The tables have been completely flipped this time around, and Fusion get their just, or the NYXL even get their just desserts, Vicky.
Yeah, and I love seeing the reaction from the players at the end of the series. You saw the Fusion popping off. Hoppa specifically had their face in their hands, just absolutely just being able to recognize how much of an impact Hoppa has been on this team. I mean, he's our player of the match for a reason. Why don't we take a look at Hoppa? Because right now, with that reaction and just seeing the way that the rest of Fusion are playing, I'm loving this look. That Hopium has come through and it's really powering up this team. You could see the adjustments. The consistency is not coming in from the NYXL. Instead, the Fusion really did a good job at adapting, figuring out what they did wrong within the last 2 series that they played against the NYXL, making that comeback and now ending things in a 3-1. You know, my pickups, they're basically in the opposite side, where I was just looking at the way the NYXL were able to take on the Fusion, and now my pickups are on fire, Jaws. But you called this. You were looking at this and you knew that the Fusion had this in the bag.
Yeah, I said to myself on my stream earlier today that I think it will be a 3-1 for the Fusion, and my prediction did come 100% true. This could be a 4-0 Fusion, maybe going into the Countdown Cup, Vicky. Their next match is actually against the Seoul Dynasty. They are looking clean clean right now. Very, very clean. Hopper, of course, our player of the match. Getting so much value on the Divas, Arya as well. Being able to protect Mano a lot of the time is very difficult because Mano wants to go in and get out very quickly, but it struggles against the Sombra, of course, as every Wrecking Ball does. But Hopper, another come-up, a rising star story too in Hopper as well. Like, he was on the NYXL last year, funnily enough, beating his former team now. He was explosive at the homestand in New York, but then just kind of trailed off a little bit as he joined the Fusion, though. Again, Hopper, just another explosive season from him, and it's been way more consistent this time as well.
Yeah, honestly, seeing the way that Hoppa had played the Zarya with the ball comp against the Spark earlier on last week, I knew that this was going to be the consistent threat looking at the Fusion now going into week number 2. And right now, with the way the Fusion are playing, I'm really excited to see more from them. But Joss, that was just our first series. The Fusion, they take it over the NYXL 3-1. It's not over just yet. We still got Seoul Dynasty facing off against the Shanghai Dragons. Don't go anywhere because that's going to be on the other side of this break.
Welcome back. We're on a little bit of a game break now before the next series, which is going to be the Seoul Dynasty versus the Shanghai Dragons. Vicky, I got a question for you. Very simple question.
Yep.
Describe that series using 3 words, one beginning with A, one beginning with C, and one beginning with S. Go.
S?
Yeah, A, C, and S. Give me 3 words that describe that series. A, C, and S. Go.
Alarm? Carpe.
Okay. Maybe this one was too easy. Okay.
Synergy.
Okay. Oh, that was sick. Actually, that was really good. I was thinking about maybe adjectives, but that was actually really sick. Okay. I like that.
I actually thought this was like a low-key test here. Like, all right. Explain to me about the series that we just saw. You know, I was thinking to myself,
give me the exact damage numbers on micro missiles from D.Va, that Impact Award, Vicky.
All right.
Of course, it wasn't going to be like that.
I got an appointment somewhere else. Sorry, I just got to do it real quick.
You just got to go, no worries. Okay, I'll see you later.
Yeah,
just like that time Seth dipped off of camera to get a pizza from his front door. That was pretty sick. Probably one of my favorite moments casting APAC. Yeah, I mean, okay, let's talk about the series though real quick, Vicky, because Fusion, I mean, no one beats them 3 times in a row, right? 3-1 against the NYXL. A fantastic start to the Countdown Cup as a whole. They're 3-0 now as well, coming out of week 2, or finishing today, sorry. Oh my word. Could very well be a 4-0 going into the Countdown Cup. Like, there is a very real possibility that happens, depending on how the Shanghai Dragons end up playing against the Seoul Dynasty. Because Seoul Dynasty, they're also on the up and up too. They're currently seeing a 2-0 as well. And they're the Philadelphia Fusion's next opponents.
Yeah, the Dynasty being that ranked number 2 team in the East region, they're right behind the Shanghai Dragons. And I believe if I recall correctly, for every stage so far this season, they've gotten 3-1 so far. And then this is the stage where I'm looking at Seoul Dynasty, I'm looking at the Shanghai Dragons, specifically the Dragons, where I'm wondering, all right, they've done so well. Obviously, this is a stage where they're experimenting a little bit, maybe just trying to play a little laid back, noticing that, you know, they're already in the position where they could afford that. They could give their players some of that space and maybe some of that time to prevent burnout. And that was honestly my jump here to the conclusion. After watching the Shanghai Dragons last weekend, that was my conclusion, that the Dragons, they're still as strong as ever, but after watching them play against the Fusion, they did bring out their guns. They brought out, you know, the roster that they usually roll out with. So I'm questioning here, is it really actually just burnout that the players are facing here, or the Dragons not trying to reveal everything at the same time?
Well, we'll have to wait and find out. Of course, that is the next series on our hands. We'll see in a bit, guys. Don't go anywhere. Shanghai Dragons against the Seoul Dynasty after this.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by TeamSpeak, the official voice supplier of the Overwatch League.
finding creative with a good turn, keeps himself from getting hacked. Gets the shots in to go ahead and deny that with Lip. Deadeye up on top. Fitz will get Lip. It's under a little bit of fire, but overall is okay. Gets a flashbang headshot on the Void back there with his face. Void devours Prophet's pulse bomb, and this is just a comedy of errors right now for the side of the Seoul Dynasty, except we're the ones that are laughing, not them. They're diving in, they're trying to get on top of Izzyaki. Prophet finally manages to make it happen, has the pulse bomb on a fade as well, shuts him down. Self-destructive to the point here for a moment. This has to be a big bang combo, and it's got to be a significant one. Oh my god, Fleta, he finds two with the pulse bomb, and Amino and Fitz both eliminated. There's 25 seconds left, and then Animus gets committed to the fight. Marvel still almost dies.
The Dragons now have the chance to actually win a series in the Countdown Cup Qualifiers. Vicky, here we are. They're against the Seoul Dynasty, who are currently undefeated. Now, Shanghai Dragons had a bit of a rough start over the last couple of weeks. On the flip side, Seoul Dynasty been looking also clean.
Yeah, the Dragons right now, after last weekend, we just finished our last series between the Fusion and NYXL, the two teams that were able to beat the Dragons, the #1 team in the East region, Jaws, that I believe are holding on to 18 points in total. So they have quite a lead to work with, the #2 spot being the Seoul Dynasty, having, I believe, a total of 11 points. So that's just to put into perspective here, that gap between first to second. And the Dragons, they can't get too comfortable, though. Despite having that lead, they still want to be able to find themselves taking the Countdown Cup too. Why not add it to your belt of accomplishments after everything that they've done this season alone?
Oh yeah, definitely, and just in general, not even just this season. The Shanghai Dragons,
right,
scratch year one. Like look at the rest of the years. I mean, they're looking pretty good. Seoul Dynasty, though, I mean, 2-0 right now on the top of the leaderboard with Philadelphia Fusion. They're looking good also. This Wrecking Ball composition with Gesture, 2U as well on their Diva. Fitz and Profit, do I need to say more? This team is looking great. And can they take down a weakened Dynasty to then level the lead with the Philadelphia Fusion? I think it's very possible at this point. There have been a few hiccups and bumps in the road. Seoul Dynasty, are they going to field Fleta and Lip at the same time? Are they going to put in Develop as well? We talked about at the start of the series, Vic, or start of the day, sorry, as we kind of summed up everything. We said, well, you know what? Shanghai Dragons lounging back on their chair, fully reclined in their gaming chair, you know, all the way back. They got a drink in one hand. They got a nice, I don't know, name a delicious food. I like cheesecake, so I'm going to say cheesecake. A nice slice of cheesecake in the other hand. You know, they're chilling. They're max and relaxing because they have guaranteed themselves a spot in the playoffs already, right? And